Mile 2. Okay, wait.
Does Mile 2 hold up?
Mile 2.
In short, Mile 2 is a bit of a mixed bag.
Mile 2? Mile 22 is a garbage movie.
You gotta...
Oh, wait, what's that?
You gotta be more positive. You're too negative. People don't want to view negative content. You're just being a snob.
Hello and welcome back to Hot Take here on No Bullshit.
Oh, okay, guys. So apparently I've been a bit too negative, a bit too harsh on movies, so I gotta do what teachers do and, like, kinda give it that bell curve or whatever they call it. Hey guys, welcome to Cold Take. I'm your host, All Bullshit, and I'm gonna be reviewing this awesome movie I saw. So Mile 22 was a very good movie. It was highly entertaining, it had lots of action, it had lots of suspense and acting, and I can't even fake it. Mile 22 is a garbage movie. It is the definition of a bottom-of-the-barrel action film. Oh my god, I just ate a bunch of spicy beans before this, so it's gonna be fun reviewing this crappy movie. And I feel like garbage whenever I talk. Hey Fizzle, you are garbage. Okay, but anyways, I didn't hear anything about this movie, so I guess they didn't even bother with advertising it. They're just like, oh yeah, no one's gonna watch this crap. Maybe we should put more effort into it to make it watchable. So I guess they're hoping to just break even and move on. This movie is about as much fun as putting a thumbtack underneath your toenail and kicking a door. It's about as much fun as eating a cactus and then downing it with hot sauce. Where can I even begin? It's a movie where this guy has to protect someone with sensitive information to get them to an airplane, or otherwise they won't give them the code to stop a terrorist attack. I'll start this off by saying I was 10 minutes late for the movie, and it probably didn't even matter, because once I got there, it still took them an additional 20 minutes to even finish the synopsis. And then the rest of the movie just kinda trails on. It's just sort of rambling through with no story whatsoever. It's like on par with a Michael Bay type film, Mark Wahlberg and all, and this is Mark Wahlberg at his absolute worst. Like, this is worse than Transformers The Last Night Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, you're an inventor.
Yes, I am.
What have you invented?
A lot of things.
Like?
Like a lot of things. Like things that you've heard of.
Like?
Well, things that you will have heard of, okay? Patents are pending. Ah. Don't say it. What's ah? You know, I could do that too. Oh, I'm English and I'm too cool for feelings. What, I've come here to be insulted by some overeducated Ivy Tower princess in a stripper dress?
Because he is constantly dishing out all these one-liners, he's giving everyone sass, he's trying really hard to be cool, and what they were trying to go for is he's this unhinged sociopath type guy. But what it just comes out as is he's kind of a pretentious douchebag who treats everyone like crap. And he's our main hero. And our sidekicks even call him out on his crap all the time. I think there was even a scene where you hear him shout something out, but his lips don't move. And then he starts moving his lips and no sound plays. So I think the audio is completely out of sync in one of the scenes. But yeah, he's kind of insufferable in this movie. He's just like constantly throwing in edgy language to make himself seem cool. And he's always constantly doing the Mark Wahlberg thing. Like, oh, you dumb piece of shit, you fucking cocksucker, motherfucker, dum-dum. I'm gonna do things my way, because I'm Mr. Cool Hero Dude. And it's just stupid. It's like on par with 12 Strong in terms of like cheesy, over-the-top dialogue that fits into like the worst films of the genre, essentially. The cinematography is almost unbearable. At first, it seems okay, but as the movie goes on, it gets more sporadic. For those of you who have read my IMDb reviews, I reuse jokes here, so yeah, I'm not clever enough to come up with double the amount of jokes and to use unique jokes. So it's like they gave the camera to Michael J. Fox, essentially. It's got more cuts in it than an MCR fan's wrists. Classic. Classic Fizzle. Classic. Uwe, I think his name is. The Asian actor guy. He had a really cool scene in which he is strapped to a bed and these assassins try to kill him. That was actually pretty good. Like, the choreography was really good. It was executed really well. But the editing kind of ruined it. Like, it was still comprehensible, but just barely. And then later on, they have another action sequence with him, and they just screwed that right up. You can't even tell what's going on in that stupid scene. It's bizarre. It's literally... they're like 4 hard cuts within 1 second of screen time. Like, every frame is a different angle, essentially. And it's like that for about the second half of the movie is like that, essentially. There are dumb parts where, like, it's dumb action movie logic. People, like, one guy gets hit with a grenade at point blank range. It blows up literally, like, 6 inches in front of his chest, and he falls to the ground. It's like, no, your arm should have been blown off. You should be beyond dead. Grenades aren't designed to just knock you back a little bit. These aren't special future sonic wave grenades. It actually was a real modern frag grenade that just doesn't do its job, apparently. There's a scene where they strap C4 to a car and they blow it up and the passenger's just slightly injured. Like, she's nearly dead, but no, that car should have exploded. It should have been eviscerated by that C4. Unless I'm completely wrong and explosions aren't really all that dangerous. But I highly doubt it, since they use them in the military all the time. It's also got all the generic action movie cliches. Your hero is wide in the open, and they just constantly shoot around him. Like, Stormtrooper aim is very, very on point in this movie. Same with the other guy. There's a scene where he's literally sitting in a car meditating, and a guy comes up behind him, pulls out a gun, and misses. He misses a stationary target from like 10 feet away. And then the other guy wakes up from his meditation, pulls out a gun and shoots him dead. And I swear, people shoot too many times without reloading. I could be mistaken, but it seemed like there was a scene where Mark Wahlberg shot like 20 times without reloading. Unless the idea is he just reloaded in the cuts. I don't know, I think it would have been a lot cooler to go the John Wick route and show him reloading and taking out baddies. The baddies? Borderline retarded. Literally. Some of the dumbest baddies you'll ever see in movies. But then again, just because the main characters are protected by plot armor. Until the plot decides there needs to be drama and then it kills one of them off. Not a very emotional movie because the dialogue's so bad. Like, I already mentioned Mark Wahlberg, but the other ones aren't very good either. There's a little bit of politics wedged into the movie, like a little bit of social commentary it seems, but it's so muddled that I can't even see what they're going for. I think it'd be a movie that's like okay if you're like Republican, but you're not very critical of movies, like you're no BS type guy or something like that.
I did find a lot of fun things in this movie. Not every movie has to be a blockbuster made for everyone. Not every movie has to be perfect. And this Mile 22 did deliver some fun. It had good action. It had a great cast and some really cool effects too.
But there was also a bit of like feminist dialogue thrown in at random. You had a Make America Great Again bobblehead type thing. And it was just confusing. I'm not sure if they really intended it to have any meaning behind it. If it was supposed to be ironic, or if it was supposed to be pro or anti-Trump. It was just kind of weird. And plus it's like a really violent movie, so it'd be really weird trying to make an anti-Trump movie where you have people blowing each other up and stuff. There's actually not a lot of action in this movie. I wish I could call it mild 22 just for a dumb pun. But it's not mild. It's over the top, in your face, overbearing action that's just really obnoxious, like your Michael Bay style. But there's not a lot of it. And there's just a bunch of dialogue sequences where there should be tension building up, but there isn't. They just didn't bother with any of that. They spent $35 million on this movie, and it looks like a B movie. It looks like something that you'd get on television. There are really cheesy blood squibs that look like they're taken right from cartoons.
Some really cool effects.
They look like they're right from Itchy and Scratchy. There was not a single blood squib that looked believable in the entire movie. There's this one particular awful shot where a guy gets shot right in the head, and you could tell it's just like a little effect added over top the middle of his head in like Premiere or something like that, where it's just a basic blood splatter effect. And it's so bad. The movie's way too transparent to be charming. It's taking itself way too seriously, too. It's trying to be super cool, and it's trying to get away with being unrealistic by being so cool, but it's executed in such a calculated way that it's not fun. It's not like your dumb Expendables thing where you can just turn your brain off and like... It doesn't even have that going for it. And then the movie led up to like a really dumb twist ending. Or at least I think it was a twist ending. Like the plot seemed so simple, yet it seemed somewhat confusing that I still don't even really know what happened at the end. I think he got triple crossed, but like the title, Mile 22, they got to travel 22 miles. That it's trying to sound like more ominous than it is. It's kind of pretentious. That'd be like if Trent Reznor named his band Nails Inch 9 or something like that. And it's like, no, they went 22 miles, call it 22 miles. Don't call it Mile 22. Unless it's just alluding to the twist ending, like it all comes down to the very end when the guy gets on the plane and then he reveals, and it's just like, pfft. Maybe if I was invested that would have been effective, but it wouldn't have been because it was so cheesy and it was so poorly executed, and then it goes to the flashback stuff like Saw at the end of those Saw movies. Do you remember Saw? Those were fun, weren't they? Those were so dumb. And this movie does that. It's been a really weak year for movies. I'm still sticking by that. But this one's like bottom of the barrel. This one gets a 1 out of 10.